Welcome to a very special Major League Gaming PC online exhibition match of the Starcraft 2 beta. I'm JP McDaniel, a staff member of the MLG PC Circuit Division. Joining me today as my co-host, who is no stranger to Starcraft, is the one and only Sean Day9 Plot. Sean, tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hey, good to be here, JP. My name is Sean Day9 Plot. As you've heard, I've been playing StarCraft for about 12 years now. I began in around 6th grade just playing network games with my brother Tasteless. And ever since then, I've been playing tons in the WCG tournaments and on the IC Cup ladders and whatnot. And nowadays, I host a 5-day-a-week StarCraft show at livestream.com/StriderDoom. So yeah.
All right, well, to start things off, Sean, let's talk a little bit about the competitors and the format of tonight's match. First off, we've got Dan Artosis Stemkowski. Currently, he lives in Seoul, South Korea, but he's originally from Salem, New Hampshire. He's currently not sponsors, but he's one of those journalists out there who is extremely good at the game that he covers. He's been playing StarCraft 1 for about 11 plus years. His favorite StarCraft 1 race is Terran, and in StarCraft 2 it's random, but tonight he's going to be playing Zerg. Some of his accomplishments in StarCraft 1 include 7 World Cyber Game US Finals appearances, and he's appeared twice in the World Cyber Games World Finals, and he's also placed 3rd in the IEF non-Korean tournament in 2009. Currently in StarCraft 2, he is 2nd in his division with 1,700 points, and his favorite SC2 unit is the Reaper. So Sean, we've kind of got our little fact sheet for Artosis. What do you know about Artosis that not everyone else does?
Yeah, I mean, I've played Artosis for a really long time, and even though he was strictly Terran when he was playing the original StarCraft, he has this deep, comprehensive knowledge of StarCraft, which is why a lot of people call him the Wikipedia of StarCraft. And as you stated, he's a wonderful journalist for the StarCraft community. He's absolutely hilarious, but he's very, very good at practicing strategies and being very dedicated. There's a lot of people out there who like little clever strategies that they can make up and wing it on the spot, but Artosis is known for putting in really long hours and putting in a lot of hard work. So that makes him a really fun player to watch and also to play against in tournaments, because you know he's always going to be bringing his A game to the table. And his second competitor is going to be David Louder Fells from Texas, the United States. His sponsor is Evil Geniuses, and he's been around just as long as Artosis has, for about 11 years. He played Protoss in the original StarCraft, and I believe he's playing Protoss tonight. His accomplishments, his big ones have been most recent. He got 3rd place in WCG USA in 2008. He got 2nd in WCG USA in 2009. He also got 2nd in the WCG US Open in 2009, which gave him a berth into the USA Finals. And he even competed at the Grand Finals in 2009. And currently, he's tearing up his division. He's first with 1,600 points. And his favorite unit is the Colossus, and of course I can't blame him for that. But, you know, even though Louder's accomplishments are more recent than Artosis's, most of them just happening in the last 2 years, he's been around for a really long time. And I know one day he just woke up and was like, I am going to be the best in the USA at this game. And he's been, just like Artosis, cranking games out. He's almost played 200 games in his Platinum division in StarCraft 2. And, you know, even though his ELO is a little bit lower than Artosis's, I don't necessarily know if that means that he is a weaker player, because the point comparison among the beta divisions is sort of funky. So I'm really looking forward to a nice solid match, because both these players are known for being very mechanically strong, fundamentally talented players. So why don't you introduce the map rotation for us?
All right, tonight we're going to have 5 maps because it is a best of 5 with the first 3 matches winning. And our 5 maps tonight are Lost Temple, Steppes of War, Desert Oasis, Kulas Ravine, and Scrap Station. Alright, Sean, we're here on our first map, Lost Temple, and of course, if you've played StarCraft before, you know what this map is all about. 4 spawning points with a natural expansion right outside of your base with the ramp leading down and a choke there. In StarCraft 2, have you seen any unique strategies specific to StarCraft 2 on this map yet?
I mean, it's kind of hard to, you know, not love Lost Temple because of all the fun little abuses, like that cliff that's right by the natural. People love putting siege tanks up there, and for StarCraft 2, you know, Blink, you can get a whole bunch of Dragoons up there to defend and that sort of thing. But I think what I love most about Lost Temple of the map is, like you were saying earlier, it first appeared in StarCraft 1, and they even like did a remake of it for Warcraft 3. But what makes it so great is that it allows you to practice fundamentals, as they'd say in the StarCraft community. You get that natural expansion, you get a lot of money, and there's that third base, the yellow mineral base, right outside there as well. And it's all about who can control the center and just have very good, reasonable strategies oriented towards big armies. So I really look forward to seeing this series start off right on the most normal foot, nothing kooky right out the gate. Let's just see if both players are going to do something nice and normal. So with that, let's just go ahead and start game one. We're going to have Artosis and Louder, both from the United States, battling in a Zerg vs. Protoss.
All right, so in this matchup, you've been, of course, watching a ton of replays, and we've seen them on your show, the Day 9 Daily. What do you think we're going to see most in this matchup for the first match?
Well, it's kind of weird that StarCraft 2 is so new. I mean, the beta's only been out for a week and a half or so right now. So most people are just trying funny gimmicks, and there's no notion of what's necessarily standard. I have heard, though, that most Zergs tend to think that Mutalisks are the best choice in this matchup, that Mutalisks are very strong. And we're going to come back to that in just a moment. Just want to let you know that at the bottom position, we have Louder spawning as the red Protoss, and at the top right position, at 2 o'clock, we have Artosis spawning as the green Zerg. But yeah, a lot of people think that Mutalisks are essential in this matchup for Zerg because there's not really that good of an anti-air for Protoss. But that said, I remember before the cast, you were talking a little bit about a counter you heard about for Mutalisks, about a really effective strat. Could you share that a little bit?
Yeah, I've always been reading Team Liquid the past couple of weeks, or I guess the past week since the beta's been out, and a lot of people have been successful with Mass Sentry against Mutas. It's a pretty great opener, and I think I was watching King Hillbilly play last night, KHB, who's also a really good player in StarCraft 2. He was using the hallucination ability to kind of help him mass his forces, obviously, and also make target firing those sentries a little bit harder for those mutas. So I'm interested to see if Louder is going to kind of go the mass sentry build or what we're going to see. But of course, his first gateway is going to go down at 11, standard build with that pylon going out at 10 and the gateway right at 11. And for Zerg, we still have nothing down yet. His second Overlord is out, but we do not see a pull yet. Actually, it's about to go down right now at 11.
Yeah, and what I already love about what Artosis is doing is sending that drone to scout. A lot of people would think, why isn't he sending the drone straight south? Because that's a little bit of the closer position. But it's so important for Zerg to check the middle of the map for proxy gates. That is the #1 location for players to build gateways just for fast, cheesy wins.
Right.
But it looks like, once again, Louder is absolutely not going to do any sort of early gimmick. He's going to go straight up and build an assimilator early on, almost inevitably going to be seeing some tech, but he's already using that chrono boost on his first gateway in his base, making sure that he can get those zealots out right away.
All right, and we also have gas coming down for Artosis, which is pretty much a standard build that I've seen a lot of StarCraft 2. Probably see a lair coming out soon. He might be going the Mutas, he might be going the Roaches. We're still not sure. We'll have to see what he builds next. But one thing that I actually like about Lost Temple are these kind of to the left of the green base, Artosis' base. There's those LOS blockers. They're those little, I guess, bushes or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, and you can build pylons there, and that's actually a really nice place to proxy because when they're scouting, although the Overlord will, of course, go directly over that, so maybe not in the 1v1, but for 2v2 matches, if you're a toss, it's a really good place to proxy. Another great place is also there at the rich mineral field, directly in the, I guess that is the southeast where those destructible rocks are. That is also another great place to proxy if you're into that sort of thing and kind of cheesing to win.
And it looks like Artosis is doing everything pretty standard. We saw that first Zealot move out by Louder, and what I love about that sort of strategy is notice that Louder's pulling the Zealot back right away. A lot of people would say, oh, it looks like that Zealot didn't do anything at all, but if we go back to Artosis' base, he hasn't expanded yet, even though he has 300 minerals. It looks like he's going to be expanding sometime soon, and he's devoted almost all his money early on to making Zerglings. And oh, look at this. If you go to the spawning pool at the right side of Artosis' base, he is making that metabolic speed boost upgrade, so he might just be going for an early bust right at Louder's ramp.
And this is, of course, a great strategy because he knows, or at least should know, that the toss is going to be teching because most people will be afraid of those mass roach builds that you see so commonly from Zerg players in StarCraft 2. So he's aware that, of course, masslings with that speed upgrade are really strong for, of course, breaking down small unit numbers from the toss.
And it does look like the expansion is going down for Artosis right now, but look in his main, he is still making Zerglings. He's even pulled all his drones out of gas, that way he can maximize Zergling production. It looks like he is in fact going for an early bust, but look at this, Louder is totally prepared. He already has a sentry up to throw down a force field, but I'm not so sure if his units are going to be popping out soon enough. Oh, look at this, forgetting a pylon.
Forgetting a pylon. One of the...
time. And oh, here
this
comes
might
the
be the
rush
match right here.
Oh my god, look at all these Zerglings running and right there surrounding him. And this one force field from a Louder doesn't even seem to have worked well. It seems to have hurt him more than anything.
Yeah, that was definitely a late force field when Artosis rushed up. And there's GG from Louder, so 1-0 to Artosis for the first match.
Up 1-0.
Now, if you were, of course, Louder and you were playing Toss, what would you have done differently right there?
Well, I would have been a little bit more aware of what was, going on outside my base. Sometimes it's hard to get that scouting probe there right away. But most importantly, it was just a little bit of disorganization at the front, and I think what was most critical was the Forgotten Pylon. It's such an easy thing to overlook. We already saw Louder getting ahead in the game by throwing down the Stargate so we could get Phoenixes, so we could harass Overlords and even maybe kill the Queen. But, always got to make sure you can stay alive in the early game.
All right, so that is, of course, 1-0 in favor of Artosis, and we're going to start our next matchup here right away.